Breaking news here on the Dallas Cowboys Report, and it's a good one. Jayron Kearse is re-signing with the Dallas Cowboys, a big-time win for the organization and the front office as they're able to retain their best remaining free agent left on the open market. Kearse, after spending about a week in free agency, is back on a 2-year deal worth $10 million and up to $11 million. I don't think the negotiations between Kearse and the Cowboys were good. I think the guaranteed money was a sticking point in the past, but Kearse is back with Dallas. Doesn't matter if it was good to start or good throughout. Keeping Kearse on a pretty good deal for the Cowboys' perspective is massive. $5 million per year. It will pretty much be fully guaranteed, I would assume. I would be surprised if there were any real outs after just 1 year. Given that it's only $10 million, I would guess you're probably looking at $6 or $7 million guaranteed on this one, but it's a 2-year deal, so it's fine. This is a massive move for the Dallas Cowboys. Many of us, myself included, understandably so, have been critical in the past this year over what the Cowboys have done in free agency. Their track record is not that great either, amplified by the issues with Randy Gregory this year. And again, I think there were problems in this negotiation, but they got it done, and they closed this time on a key piece of their defense. Make no mistake, Jayron Kearse absolutely balled out this year. For a player who many of us thought, we'll see if he makes the roster, we'll see if he plays a big role. Well, he was your best safety by a pretty good margin. No disrespect to others on this team, but Kearse exceeded everybody's expectations. 101 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 10 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. Kearse played like an actual bona fide stud starter at safety, which this team hasn't had very much. And last year, no team invested less in the safety position from a draft capital standpoint or a money standpoint at safety than the Cowboys did. Now, Kearse gets to play again under Dan Quinn, and that is changing with the deals for Kearse and for Hooker. So grade this re-signing for me. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to make this the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and drop a grade for me right now. It's an A grade for me. I didn't have a great feel for what the market was going to be like for Jayron Kearse. Was it going to be $8 million? Was it going to be $6 million? $7 million? Where was it going to slot in? I thought the Tracy Walker deal was going to be maybe what he was asking for, 25 over 3 years. He gets 5 over 2 years. Now, if that had expanded to a 3-year deal, maybe it would have been more like 7. But remember, the shorter you go on a deal, the less it costs you per year because, well, most of it's guaranteed. It's not backloaded. But I think a shorter deal actually does make sense for both sides. If we're worried about regression for the Cowboys defense, which we probably should be, your safety having his best year, his only good year ever in his age 27 season, could be a point of regression. So if he does struggle or come back down to earth next year, which I don't think he will, I don't want him to, of course, only a 2-year deal makes it easier to get out of it at that particular standpoint. So I don't think things were smooth in this negotiation, but it got done. And that's what matters for the Dallas Cowboys. This is a really good move by the organization, and I feel a lot better now that it has gotten done. So what is your one-word reaction to the re-signing of Jayron Kearse? Let me know in the comments. Remember, one word only. Maybe thankful, good, awesome, big, critical, important. You can go negative if you want to. I'm not feeling negative at all today. Let me know in the comment section. My one word, needed. Because you needed to keep Kearse. Because you were not going to win a bidding war for Tyrann Mathieu. What are you going to go sign? Terrell Edmunds as your replacement? Kearse was a key part of your defense. The plan to begin the year was to go out and keep Kearse and keep Gregory. He did half of those things. And this one, I have heard, and many others have heard, that talks were not smooth. They rarely are in the end for the organization. I heard that there were some guaranteed contract issues, like the money guaranteed early on. And that's kind of how the Cowboys tend to operate. I don't like it, but it worked out. And if you had told me 2 years, $10 million, or even 2 years, $11 million at the start of free agency, I said, cool, let's do it. It was always going to be a weird negotiation with what the cost was going to be. I don't think Kearse wanted to leave Dallas. I think he clearly is happy here. He works really well with Dan Quinn. So getting him to stick around and keeping a piece that worked, that safety in the box, run-stopping, tight end guy, that works really, really well for the Cowboys. I had no idea if they were going to be able to. We talked about that earlier today. We talked about if Kearse was going to re-sign or not, how I was worried because it's been a week and you hadn't paid him yet. But it got done, and that's a huge deal for the Dallas Cowboys. When news happens, we break it down. Hit that big red button and subscribe, youtube.com/Cowboys TV. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any of the news that happens here around America's team. The safety room now. This is better. Jayron Kearse, Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson as your big three. Yes, you've got injury concerns on Hooker and Wilson. That's fair. But the safety room, from a need perspective, is in good shape. As it sits right now, you don't have to draft somebody early. Although you guys know me, I wouldn't mind adding someone since Wilson, Kearse, Hooker, I think all have 2 years left. Might be 1 year for Wilson, but I think it's 2. Left on there, maybe it is 1. Either way, his deal is almost over. The contracts are winding down for these players. So the safety room is in good shape. If you love someone round 2, round 3, round 4, or maybe round 6, last year of your deal, Sam? Last year of Wilson's deal, thank you. Israel Mukuamu's there. If you find a round 6 guy you love, since the Cowboys actually have a great track record in round 6, sure, draft him. You have another spot. Maybe you want to bring back Dante Fowler. Feels a bit unlikely from that standpoint. But the safety need is not what it was at the beginning of the offseason, where 3 of your top 4 guys were free agents. 2 of them are now back on 2-year deals in Kearse and in Malik Hooker. So who do you guys want the Dallas Cowboys to go out and get next? Keep it realistic. I would love Zadarius Smith or Bobby Wagner. I don't know how realistic that is because this team still has a bunch of cap space left. We'll see if they actually spend it, though, in the end. Again, when news happens, we break it down. If you want daily videos every single day, make sure those notifications are turned on. That way you don't miss out when the news goes down. Subscribe to us here on YouTube at youtube.com/Cowboys TV. Remember, only about 20, more like 15% of you have noties set to all. When you first subscribe, you get defaulted to personalized. All means you won't miss any video here at the Dallas Cowboys Report. Formally announced in the NFL's transaction wire, by the way, were 4 other moves. Even though we don't have the contract details yet, Dante Fowler and James Washington have signed. So their physicals then checked out. By the way, when you don't get the immediate contract numbers, in general, not always, but in general, that means cheap. So I'm going to bet 1 year under $5 million for both of those 2 players. We'll see what the actual numbers come in at, but probably not that much guarantee. But those are the 2 outside signings. Luke Gifford formally re-signed. It's a cheap 1-year deal, I promise you that, not much guaranteed money. And Dalton Schultz, this is going to fly under the radar for everybody, has formally signed his franchise tag. What that means is you can still work out a long-term deal for Schultz and for the Cowboys. However, you can no longer rescind that tag. That option is off the table, although if you wanted to trade him, you could work out a trade on the side. That's pretty darn unlikely as well. But Fowler, Washington, those deals made official. Luke Gifford made official. Schultz signed his tag. And in the biggest news of the day, in the last several days here for the Dallas Cowboys, Jayron Kearse has agreed to a 2-year, $10 million deal. It's a big one for the Cowboys, and I am very pleased on Twitter. Feel free to celebrate with me at WhatGoingDowney.